while I had them out, I wanted to do some different tests on N64 joystick styles. So N64 is my favorite console, and I've been playing it for decades, and I've gotten a lot of experience on different types of controllers and different types of joysticks throughout the years that I've been playing it. And I had 4 different types here, so I figured I'd just give a rundown of the different types, how I feel about them, and then we can do some more objective tests using an EverDrive here, where we can actually look at the controller gates and see what kind of outputs we're getting from those. So on the left here, we have the original Nintendo 64 controller. This is the OEM joystick that would come with them. Then on the blue one right here, we have the GameCube style joystick. This is the knockoff brand Chinese ones that you could just get on Amazon or eBay or whatever. I actually got this one probably about 10 years, maybe more at this point. So I've had this one a while. It still snaps back right to the center. It's very snappy. It's definitely a little bit smaller than the other ones as far as the gate there at the bottom. And so it does take a little bit of adjusting to get used to, but all of these do. This one right here is the Retro Fighters Brawler. Now, this is a first revision. I pre-ordered this actually when they first came out. So I don't know if Retro Fighters has been iterating on this design at all, if maybe they've changed anything about the joysticks on the newer ones. Just figure I should mention that this is a older version of this. I want to say it was from like 2019 or something. And I do also have this Ultra 64 colored Retro Fighters Brawler controller. This is a wireless version that is the same as this one. I don't know if this one's actually a different design or if anything's been changed on this at all. This one did come out, I want to say, like a year or two after I pre-ordered this one. So we'll check, I guess, since I have them both here, just to see if there's any difference in the joystick readouts here. And then the last one here is the one that I've been using the most recently, and that is the 8-bit Do Hall Effect joystick. This is also a GameCube style, same as the blue one over here. Although you can definitely see that it's a larger joystick when put next to it. This one's also got a rubbery film on the top here, which does help with grip. So all these other ones are actually not the Retro Fighters. This one does have a rubber grip on the top. But this one's actually textured as well, so that helps a little bit. So like the original one here has got this circular texture, but it's fully plastic. So the circular texture does help with grip. This one's got the best of both, where it's a little bit rubbery, so it's not going to wear down on your thumb over long usages. And then it's also got the circular grips to help with that. So this one does have a larger gate at the bottom. And I think these are mostly similar shapes. As you can see, this one's got sort of like an octagonal. It really doesn't want to focus there. This one's got sort of like an octagonal gate, and we'll see that come through in the controller tests, that it's got that specific shaping to it. The Retro Fighters here is definitely more of a even side octagon, whereas this one's sort of like elongated. And again, we'll see that in the tests. This one as well. And then same thing with this one. So these all have different shapes than the original gates. So that's something that we'll take a look at, see if it affects the tests. So here we are, we're running this off the EverDrive. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper recording set up right now, so we're just going to be doing this on my projector. And I will be showing the gate as we're entering the test, just so you can see the inputs that I'm using. But I just thought I'd show you here what we're booting up. We've got a couple different controller tests. I prefer to use the Sani controller test. So we are going to load that one up here. And we're going to skip through this. And this, it's kind of hard to see in this lighting since it's just that tiny little dot there. So we'll get the actual recording. So let me jump down. So here we go. We're just going to go in a circle. So you want to put it right at the top there. Top right. Far right. Bottom right. Bottom center. Gotta make sure I'm getting right in the edge of the gate there. Bottom left, far left, top right, and then dead center. So here's what we've got on the OEM joystick. I do think that I probably went a little too hard in the bottom left there, which gave us a little bit of a higher reading than you would normally get if you're just playing it. But this is sort of the shaping that we want to see from a good OEM controller. And as I was saying, this is probably close to perfect. Obviously, there's some variance since they're plastic parts and they're old. Even coming out of the factory, you could get a reading like this. So I think at the top there, top and bottom, our readings we want to get are 85 is sort of the sweet spot. And then left and right, we want to get about 80. So 85 up and down, 80 left and right. So if we're anywhere close to that, those dots that it's got there, that's going to be a good looking joystick. And the main thing you want to look out for is that sort of elongated octagon shaping. So we're actually going to do this one more time just because I think we can probably get a better reading than that. Sometimes if you're pushing too hard or if you're slightly off center, you can get weird readings. And I know that I've gotten better readings than that on this one, so we'll just try again, see if we can get a more uniform look there. And yeah, that is looking more consistent. So if you're not really pressing down into the side of the gate there, you can get more of the shaping that you're going to see and more of the shaping that you would normally get when you're just playing a game normally. So we've got 86 at the top, 84 at the bottom. We're already closer there. And we got 79 and 83. So we brought it back to the left a little bit since it was slightly off center last time. So that's actually a better reading, and that's more indicative of the condition of this actual joystick here. So let's move on to the next one. And that is going to be our generic brand GameCube style joystick, and we'll just go ahead and test this one. Maybe I'd do it head on like this, that'll be easier to see. Okay, so this is seeing this here actually confirms what I felt about these joysticks, which is that they're just hot garbage. I used these for years because it was all I had access to. The Hall Effect joysticks weren't around, neither were the Brawlers, so this was the best that we had for a long time if you didn't want to replace your original joystick with more parts that would wear down. As you can see, it's just a complete square. So top left, bottom left, top right, bottom right are all going to be as far out as the top and bottom, which is 88. So even on those center lines there, we're overshooting. So these are incredibly over-responsive, especially in the diagonals. You're going to be skipping steps. They just immediately jump out to the most extreme, which makes it really difficult to control in high-precision scenarios, like a platformer or even a racer where you just want to subtly adjust your car. I really do not like these things. Now again, the ones that I have are over 10 years old, so I don't know if maybe some of the other newer ones are any better. I don't expect it because there really is no incentive for these no-name replacements that are about $10 to try and improve their design. So they're just selling these to, you know, unsuspecting players that don't really care about these kind of tests. And that's what I used for a long time, and I really do not like them, so I wouldn't recommend them. So now we're going to test the Brawler. And here we see that one. You can see it is wildly overshooting in the top and the bottom. And then it's also very right shifted. So this one was pretty disappointing for me. And this is another reason I haven't used the Brawler very much, apart from the layout, which I'm not a huge fan of because it's difficult for me to get used to. But also this joystick gate reading here is not very good. As you can see, you've got a lot more range on the right side, but it also overshoots. And then we're undershooting on the left side, and it's a shallower angle there. So the shaping of the gate is off, the centering of the gate is off, the range from the right and the left is not symmetrical. And so this one is definitely better than the GameCube style that we just saw, but it is a far cry from the OEM. And I just really wasn't too impressed with it, just from a precision standpoint, sorry. Especially, you can see in that right side quadrant there, you're going to be overshooting a lot. It's going to be really oversensitive. So, again, another one that I'm not too thrilled about. I know that everybody likes these, or at least I hear a lot of praise around the Brawlers, but just personally, I don't really care for them. And just to be fair, we'll also try the wireless one just to see if they made any improvements between those two. Maybe I got a bad joystick on that first one. Maybe they improved the process. We'll find out. Okay, so that one definitely is better than our first one there. It's more centered. We've still got a little bit of a weird shaping to the gate there. It's definitely more standard octagonal than the elongation that we saw in the OEM, but we're getting closer to those 85s. We're still overshooting in all directions. At least it is centered and we don't have that huge lopsiding that we saw in the last one. This is probably serviceable for most people, I would say. Like, this is not too bad, all things considered. It's definitely, again, better than the GameCube style that we saw originally, and something like this isn't going to wear down over time. So maybe the later brawlers are better. Again, since this one is a wireless, I don't use it very often. I don't like having to charge the controller. I don't like having to keep up with the dongle and like make sure it's all connected all the time and all that fun stuff. So I just prefer to wire my controllers in. So this is not one I've had as much experience with. So, but that is the gate test right there, and let's check our last one. And that is going to be our 8-bit Do Hall Effect joystick. So let's go ahead and do that test. So here are those results, and as you can see, I mean, this by far is better than all the others that we saw. This is very, very close to an OEM. You can see that we're right where we want to be in all the cardinal directions, right at 85. So it actually looks like left and right, you still want to be about 80 to 85. And with us being 83 and 85, that looks really good to me. It looks like maybe 82 is where the actual dot is. As you can see, the top and bottom are very, very close. And we're even pretty close to center too. As you saw on our first test with the OEM, that can sometimes appear off center. So these are definitely the ones that I've been using the most. The range feels really good. Obviously the rubber tap, can't speak. The rubber capped tip with the texture on it really helps with the grip and not causing discomfort over long periods of play. I definitely got over 100 200 hours with this in the short time that I've had it, and I've really been pleased with this. If you're gonna go for a joystick replacement, I really recommend these. Obviously this isn't sponsored by them. I literally just like them a lot, and I went out and bought like 12 of them. I've already put a bunch in my controllers, given some to friends. I just really am impressed with these joysticks. So if you're looking for a replacement to your worn out OEM joysticks, I highly recommend the 8-bit Do Hall Effect. It's just a very good joystick. So I'll go ahead and put up a final comparison of the gate tests that we did here, and you guys can make your own judgment about what you think is the best one to go for. And thank you all for watching.